Hi there, greetings and salutations. My name is Jake Query. That is Derek Schultz. I have no idea why he's wearing a Yankee shirt. They suck, but this is the Query and Schultz program here on the ISC Sports Network. And open disclaimer, we're getting ready to do 1 hour of absolute sports audio bliss, and we have prepared absolutely nothing. We have no idea what we're talking about today.
No, I prepared.
You shared nothing with me. You brought in a sandwich and you brought in the beer, which is great, right? I mean, I'm happy for that. But we've had no discussion
what do you
whatsoever.
think we're going to talk about today?
The Yankees and why they suck.
Actually, I was going to do a full hour on Indiana's Puerto Rico scrimmage in front of like 10 people.
Against a 7th grade team? Did they play a 7th grade team?
Apparently, that team's actually got some good. They have an NBA player.
They had a 70-19 run, did they not?
Yeah, they did. And look, for Indiana, it's better to look good than bad, but that is the extent. The last 30 seconds, hi, Gritty, if you're watching, that's the extent of what we're going to talk about, a scrimmage in Puerto Rico. We're not going to go any farther in depth than that.
Who did you say hi to?
Gritty, big IU fan. She wants us to talk about IU all the time.
Okay.
Probably.
Is this one of the – who was the one that used to send you tweets all the time?
Lots of people send me tweets, my man. You got to be more specific.
I don't know. You had one female person that would occasionally tweet you.
Lots of females tweet me. You got to narrow it down a little bit more.
It was
happily married and all of that, but obviously
Greta
you
Wan or
attention.
something like that.
Oh, Gertie. Yeah, I still hear from Gertie every once in a while, but she's a big Colts fan. Gertie. Yeah, okay. At Gertie Colts 1.
Okay,
on
sure.
X and Twitter.
Uh-huh. That's not. Is that your burner account?
No, it's not a burner. It's a real person. Lives in Avon.
What's your follower count up to? Do you remember the day that we were on the air and we both were like super excited because we got to like the K?
Yeah, that was exciting. But I mean, you've always been ahead of me because of all the IndyCar track form doinks that follow you. I think I'm at 20.
Here's the thing, and I don't even pay attention to it anymore.
15,000 are bots or inactive
no question.
Accounts.
I mean, it's yes.
I talk to the same 20 people.
I noticed that too, man. And
15 to 20
like
people.
It's just a cesspool, right? Like I go on there, and they have the following section and the For You section, but it diverts you to the and I'm just like, what in the world to the For You? And I'm like, I try to cleanse it out by clicking on just sports stuff so that the algorithm. But I mean, it is like.
And how many of the responses are like AI generated accounts? Because it just feels like a lot of the people I've been less responsive because I don't know if it's a real person that I'm responding to.
Totally.
And I don't know if it's like a bad faith argument. You know what I mean? Like I just don't dive into it. I remember 6-7 years ago, man, I would just dive into like day-long back and forth on Twitter with people.
I know.
And now I'm just like, I'm not even going to waste my time
by
with
the way, why are you wearing a Yankee shirt?
I don't know. It's comfy. It's
it's a cool-looking shirt.
It's airy. They won last night, which is rare. They've been kind of imploding here. And I just wanted something that's comfy. It's so blah.
So
outside.
here's the
August.
thing. Obviously, the Colts are going to be the topic of conversation here. The quarterback situation, the Pacers, and I have a weird thing about the Pacers and the schedule that we now know in terms of where they're going to open up. So there's a lot to get to. We can talk IU basketball as well, college football right on the horizon.
SausageFest. We'll talk about SausageFest on the show.
We're not discussing Derek's active social life in college on today's show.
No,
that
this
is not
is
on the
the
roster.
SausageFest. Friday and Saturday night, 2 nights only. St. Thomas Aquinas Church and School, 46 in Illinois.
You need 2 nights of this?
SausageFest. Oh, hell yeah. We need like 4 nights of it. But yeah, it's definitely 2 nights. I'm emceeing Friday, so come up and say hi. Happy to take a picture. I'll sign something. No personalized greetings, but I'll sign if you want to do that.
I'd like to know which emceeing gig is more prestigious, your Sausage Fest one or me doing the Wiener Dog races at the German Fest.
Nothing gets bigger than Sausage Fest, buddy. Nothing is bigger than Sausage Fest.
Yeah, I don't know that I can
Best
agree with that.
Midtown block party of the year.
Here's my weird baseball thing.
Mm-hmm.
In my childhood, I was a Reds fan. That was my team, right? And that was when baseball was still like but I was a Reds fan. And I will admit that nostalgically speaking, I'm now a bandwagon Reds fan. If they're good and they're in the mix, I get like this nostalgic nature of like,
that's how I am with like all my teams, except for the Yankees. That's how I am with everybody. Yeah.
So then, and I kind of like Cute Fella because I like the logo.
Yeah.
Right? But outside of that, I kind of just find myself each year finding a team that I become interested in, and then I follow them.
Okay.
The team this year, and it's a team that I was a childhood fan of also. Do you want to guess?
Brewers.
No. I'm going to the Brewers game this weekend.
White Sox.
Or no, not this weekend, next weekend. No, I'm going to the White Sox game tomorrow.
I'm just trying to pick teams that I know you've seen in person or cities that you like. Padres.
No, they're cool.
No, then tell me.
Blue Jays.
Okay.
There's something fun about the Blue Jays. But then again, their stadium kind of sucks. And after you've been to Toronto a million times, you're like, okay, sure. But I'm kind of into the Blue Jays this year.
Okay.
And they're running away with the East, right?
Yeah, they are. They're a good team. They're a contender for sure. It's a weird year because no one's great. There are some teams that are good.
No
one's great.
Of potential legit scenarios, what is the least exciting, least moves the needle that's already like flatlined anyway, World Series matchup?
I mean, I think you just saw it a couple of years ago. That Diamondbacks-Rangers one was, if you weren't a true baseball fan, and that's no offense to those teams, they were actually pretty entertaining, but if you weren't a true baseball fan, there was no way you were watching that.
Brewers, Blue Jays?
Yeah, I mean, baseball's just like that in general. I mean, if you stop 10 people on the circle right now and we're like, hey, name a Minnesota Twin.
Joe Mauer.
Yeah.
Kirby Puckett.
Justin Morneau. Kent Herbeck. I mean, right?
That's
none of those guys have played in 10 years.
Chuck Knobloch.
Yeah. None of those guys have played in years and years.
You know what I was thinking about with baseball, and then I promise.
Can we talk about the Colts? Yeah, we're like 20 minutes into the show here.
The baseball to me, the thing that's crazy.
Yeah.
There are guys. I'm going to give you. I thought of a baseball situation today.
Okay.
Settle down over there.
Let's hustle through it.
Every year in the World Series in particular, there's like an ace pitcher. And it used to be that those ace pitchers were household names and more often than not went on to become Hall of Famers. There are some that I look at that were unhittable for a brief period, and I wonder, I'm like, were they really good for a year? Like, I'm not a big enough baseball enthusiast. Were they generational pitchers, or did they have like a 2-year run? For example.
I got a great one.
Okay, go ahead.
Matt Harvey. Remember with the Mets? They went to the World Series in 2015, and then he had injuries and things like that.
Okay, Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the MVP when the guy had to give the car to him and said that
it's got all kinds of features and stuff?
Yeah, that guy. Whatever happened to him? He had like a 2-year run there where he was
no longer
right?
in the league, right?
I guess. He was
with Arizona.
Wasn't he a multiple Cy Young Award winner?
No, he wasn't. He was a great postseason pitcher. But I don't think he was like an all-star and things like that, but he wasn't
he
like
was
a
Matt
Cy
Morris.
Young winner. Yeah.
But he was their ace, was he not?
I mean, who else do they have? Matt Cain. Who else would have been on those Giants teams? Those were weird teams because they won in 10, 12, and 14, like every other year, and then they missed the playoffs in the other years.
And the Reds had them dead to rights.
Yeah, they were up 0-2. They won both games in San Francisco,
Don't remind me. I told you I'm a bandwagon fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Colts are getting underway with their schedule this week in a joint practice with the Green Bay Packers. And then it is preseason game number 2 in front of a raucous crowd at Lucas Oil Stadium as people watch the pillow fight that is Anthony Richardson versus Daniel Jones. May the guy who sucks least please take this job. That's basically where we are now, right?
Unfortunately. I just think the indictment to me on Richardson, who I do still think is going to end up being the week 1 starter, is the fact that he's not running away with it. I just think, Thursday night feels like 100 years ago, but we haven't spoken since Thursday night.
Literally.
We haven't talked on the show. You and I talk all the time. No. We were texting last night with one another, talking about our personal lives and our hopes and dreams. The thing on Thursday night where, look, I don't understand football on the level that like Kurt Warner or like Brian Ballinger or people like that understand football. But when everybody is coming in and saying, look, this read is on Richardson. He has to be able to identify that there's a free rusher here and be able to throw it to one of his safety valves, check down to the running back, whatever else, get rid of the ball immediately. And it's year 3, and this is stuff that guys are taught in year 1. That stuff to me is problematic. Like, forget the injuries and stuff like that. Yes, injuries are always part of it. He's actually lucky he only had a broken pinky, not a broken sternum, because he got hit so hard. Injuries are, let's kind of put that aside. It's just the fact that the Colts can't wait much longer for this guy to learn how to play quarterback. They can't. It's year 3. You know, you have to know. You have to know what you're doing out there. And he can wow you all he wants in scrimmages. Look, Anthony Richardson has all the ability and all the traits in the world. That's all he has, though. You know, there's so much more to playing quarterback than just that. So, you know, Daniel Jones is meh, like the definition of meh. I don't want to see him win the job. I don't think anybody even in the Colts organization wants to see him win the job. But I'm just disappointed that Richardson hasn't just taken this thing
Derek,
by the neck, a stranglehold on this job into year 3.
Here's what concerns me. What is the most important, aside from physical ability, what's the most important aspect of being an NFL quarterback?
Well, your mind and being able to see things and understand
your decision making, right?
Yeah.
Your decision making and your understanding, your grasp. Okay? Anthony Richardson, a year ago, tapped his helmet to come out of a game. And then afterwards was asked about it and said, I ain't going to lie to you, I was tired.
No.
He should have learned from that, right? Not just learned that you don't tap your helmet and come out of the game, but also, truthfully, simply learned don't admit that, right? You set yourself up there. Don't admit that. When Anthony Richardson got completely blown up by not recognizing a defensive look, fine. But then afterwards he says, you know what? I just need to pay better attention to my P's and Q's. I should have seen that. That's on me. Okay, I can commend him for being honest and falling on that sword. But once again, what that shows to me is that he has learned nothing about just something as simple as the candor of answering those questions. And that sounds very nuanced from me, but that shows poor decision-making again. Not just the decision of not knowing how to read that defense, but the decision-making of not being able to discern when and where to be candid and expose and be transparent. And I can appreciate the candor from him. But it shows a naivete at the most important position in all of sports where naivete cannot exist. That's the problem. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a dumb guy. I just think he's a guy that is so physically and athletically gifted that he has been accelerated his entire career. And the Colts absolutely butchered this from the beginning because this is a franchise, and I realized that Chris Ballard was not there back then, and I realized that Shane Steichen was not there back then, but Jim Irsay was. And Jim Irsay ran a franchise where this was the third time that he has had a franchise quarterback before him, and the other two, they didn't have to be groomed. So the Colts didn't, as an organization, know how to groom a young quarterback. And they completely butchered this from the beginning, and there's no going back now.
I just think it was a situation where they knew how raw he was. Everybody knew. You had to know how raw he was. You knew that you were taking a chance here and that you were taking a big swing for the fences. I don't think they knew just how raw he was. And I don't just mean from learning how to play quarterback. I mean in preparation and all of that. I mean, we talked about this last year about work ethic and things like that and, loafing a little bit. And I think it sounds like Richardson has gotten all that stuff ironed out. I haven't heard anything different. I don't know if
I would
you
agree
have.
with that.
And the wake-up call has been administered, and he's fine there.
And I want to be clear here, Derek, in defense of, or to be fair to Anthony Richardson, we are not, neither one of us, insinuating in any way, shape, or form that these are character issues. It's not like, there's Johnny Manziel was just, the guy was just a jag, right?
Yeah.
But, Anthony Richardson, I've never heard any implication that it was that, he was out partying until 3 a.m. or didn't care, whatever else. I just think it was a naivete as to what the expectation was.
Yeah, and what the commitment should be to really succeed because all these other guys that you mentioned, these other two, in Luck and Manning, I mean, they were, first one there, last one to leave,
right.
Stuff like that. I know it's all cliche, but like as the quarterback, you are expected to do those things.
It's really the difference between the two of us. When we first started doing the show together, there was an adjustment there because for me, just kind of naturally gifted, just kind of came in, didn't, and you, on the other hand, you've had to be an over-preparer, right? So
No, you're kind of presenting that in a way that's not a proper reflection of how it was. But I did show up. I remember my first day, which was almost exactly 14 years ago. August 15th of 2011 was the first day at Aquarium Schultz. So happy 14-year anniversary, bud. My first day, I remember Rick Green, who hired us, who's retired now, the general manager at Clear Channel in Indy. I was there at like 9:30, and he popped in the office. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm getting ready for the show. I'm here to work, whatever." He's like, "Oh, I thought you'd be in closer to noon." And I was like, "Well, no, like that's not how I operate." I knew you were coming in at 2:45 because you had told me that you were coming in at 2:45.
That's right.
Yeah, we showed up to our first meeting with Rick, and Jake had a Quebec Nordiques shirt on
Calgary
and
Flames.
a whatever Canadian NHL team and a backwards hat. I had just a nice button-down shirt that I got in a clearance from Macy's because I was so broke.
And you had on freshly
Khakis,
pressed pants. Yeah.
press pants.
You weren't even married yet, right?
Dress shoes. No, I wasn't even engaged yet.
This before your wife was dressing you, so like it was very questionable.
Engaged yet. No, I mean I was kind of seeing a couple of people around that. Well, actually, no, that would have been after that.
Listen,
yeah.
I worked with Derek. He was seeing
No, you didn't see me in my heyday. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a heyday there. Luckily, all photographic evidence has been destroyed of me in my heyday. But yeah, and you told me that at that time that's kind of how you were. But yeah, steering it back to the quarterback situation, everything is still in front of him. There is still a chance that the light bulb goes on here. It's just becoming more and more difficult for me to believe that is going to happen. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that. I just think, and it may, Derek, and we may be eating, but of course we'd be eating crow, but it's going to be a big buffet table, right? Because
everyone will eat crow.
I don't, listen, I hope we're wrong. I do. I hope we're wrong. And there are glimpses where you look at it and you go, okay, wow. But to your point, with Daniel Jones, I felt like if Daniel Jones was going to be the starter, it was not going to be because Daniel Jones earned the job. It's going to be because Anthony Richardson lost it.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that is still in conversation is bothersome, right?
Yeah. And I think the roster is better. I'm excited about the wide receiver room. We'll talk about the cornerbacks here in a little bit, but when the cornerback room was healthy, I was excited about that. Sounds like Latu is ready to really take a leap here. And A.D. Mitchell and some of these other young guys that the Colts have pinned some hopes on at premium positions. But, Jake, none of that matters if the Colts are going to have the 31st best quarterback in the league. None of that stuff matters.
Let me tell you something I've said on my radio show, so I apologize for being redundant, but I truly believe it. Every once in a while, once a month, I think of something and I think, yeah, see, this is good.
Yeah.
Right? I'm driving to work last week. I think it was probably this time last week. And I'm driving, you probably heard me say this, Derek, but I'm driving past the JW Marriott, and they've got the big mural
The
up.
sticker, yeah.
Okay? What do you notice about it? Give me a franchise top of your head, an NFL franchise top of your head.
The Texans.
Texans. If the Texans did a mural, I don't know what the biggest building in Houston is, but if they were doing a mural out in front for the Texans, Texans 25, the time is now, what players are going up?
Nico.
Okay.
C.J. Stroud.
Okay. Give me another franchise.
Will Anderson.
Give me another franchise.
Another franchise off the top of my head. The Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
So in Kansas City, right outside the plaza, okay, there's a huge mural kicking off the season, and it says, underneath it, it's got their slogan, right?
Yeah.
Strive in 25. Who's on that mural?
Well, Mahomes, Chris Jones.
Okay. Let's go
Kelsey.
one more. Give me one more franchise top of your head. Vince, give me a franchise top of your head. Just yell one out. The Bears. So the Bears, right out in front of Grand Park, they got a huge mural for the year, right? The roar is now 25 Chicago Bears. Who's on the mural?
Caleb.
What does it say about your franchise when you have your mural on the
you're saying
JW
that
Marriott?
You don't have the quarterback.
And you don't have the quarterback up there.
Who is up there? Is it Taylor, Quentin
Jonathan
Nelson?
Taylor, Quentin Nelson, DeForest Buckner, and Kenny Moore.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that makes sense, but yeah,
One position that's totally irrelevant for success in the NFL, right? Another position that is a great
becoming
player
more
and is
relevant.
what's that?
Running back, I think.
I'm talking about guard.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We got the best guard in the NFL.
Yeah. You're not wrong there.
Who's the best guard? Like when they draft Quentin Nelson and Jim Irsay, rest his soul. Quentin, buddy, you're going to be like Hannah out there just mulling people. John Hannah. Okay, great. John Hannah. What's your claim to fame, John Hannah? I was on the 80s Patriots. I blocked for Steve Grogan. All right, let's go.
He's a great player, but nobody remembers. Nobody's popping in old VHS tapes.
Correct.
Like, I want to watch Joe Hannah play.
But in the running back position, I think that we undersold the running back the last few years, and Jonathan Taylor is an elite-level talent, but where does that get you, right?
Yeah.
My point being, if you are a franchise that is so uncertain about your quarterback that he is not one of the four, not 1, 2, 4 players that you are using in your promotion at the beginning of the season, you are screwed, right?
Again, he's only been here a couple of years. I'm playing devil's advocate to it.
They had him up there last year.
Yeah, you're right. They did. Yeah. I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit, but yeah. I mean, and in Quentin Nelson's defense, he has become John Hannah. Right?
He's a great player.
Hall of Fame player.
He's a great player, but
Yeah, I kind of hear you on that.
I mean, literally, the Colts saying like we have a Hall of Fame guard is like a Major League Baseball team like come out and see our Hall of Fame left fielder.
I'm just bummed, Jake, because I really do think, and maybe this is me also being naive because we've seen what the team has produced when they're on the field, but I really do think the roster is better. I think they've gotten better at key positions, which we've been hammering them on
I would
over
agree.
and over again. Like they're better at corner, they're better at left tackle, they're better at wide receiver, they're better at impact position, they're better at edge.
They're not terrible.
It's just it doesn't matter if your quarterback play is going to be, even if their quarterback play was adequate, this would be a playoff team.
Let me ask you this.
And I'm just worried it's going to be bottom barrel quarterback play again.
Let me ask you this. College football, Big Ten. You think Minnesota's a bad program?
No, they're pretty good. Yeah. They're okay. Average. Middle of the road.
Are the Colts the Minnesota Golden Gophers
essentially.
of the NFL?
Yeah.
They're not terrible.
No.
I mean, if the NFL had
They're the Dolphins.
If the NFL had a Little Caesars Bowl, then the Colts would be in it, right?
They're the Dolphins. I remember having this 10 years ago. I remember having this exact conversation. At that point, I think we would have been with Marlon Jackson. It might have been when we were with Jack Trudeau and Mark Herman. But the Colts were playing the Dolphins, and we're at Slippery Noodle. We were doing the Q95 pregame show. And I remember we saw a bunch of Dolphins fans in there, and we're in a commercial break, and we're like, man, isn't it sad that all the Dolphins jerseys that you see are like Marino and like Clayton and like all these players that haven't played in like 20 years. And because they've just been for that long, like they haven't had players to get like Ronnie Brown, like who are you going to get excited about, right? For Dolphins players. I hope the Colts are never that way. And now you go to a Colts game and you see Jonathan Taylor and Quentin Nelson jerseys and things like that, but like you're still kind of pining for the old teams.
If every NFL franchise was a legitimate thing that you could spend one day with no chance of being harmed, are the Dolphins high on your list?
What?
Wouldn't you want to spend time with the Dolphin, just swim with the Dolphin?
You mean like as a predatory animal? Would they be high on the list?
No, like if every mascot, if you had the opportunity to like play with, snuggle with, roll around with, play, pet, swim, whatever, with every mascot in the NFL, wouldn't the Dolphins be a top 5? All right. Bears?
Time for our Hoagie and Hero of the Week.
What? It's a great question,
Brought to you
right?
by our friends.
Like, who wants to hang out with a Charger? Nobody wants to hang out with a Charger.
Hoagies and Hops.
A Texan? No thanks.
Boulevard.
I mean, those guys are just, a big Texan. I mean, who cares? Dolphins are cool.
Texans are like a steer, though. They've got the horn. They've got the horns.
No,
yeah.
a Texan is the dude. The logo just happens to be the steer, but a Texan means a guy. Like, howdy, partner. That's a Texan.
Hoagie eating contest.
You thought a Texan was the thing he's the bull?
Saturday, September 13th. Hoagies and Hops, 2:30.
I know Toro is a bull.
They are running out of spots.
Means the big 10-gallon hat guy.
My buddy Jeff Smock, you met Smock, right?
Yep.
He's the godfather of my son. He's going to do the Hoagie eating contest.
Oh, really?
Yep.
He has no chance.
With me. He had to sign the waiver form. Going to be an awesome day. Block party, live music, all that.
He had to sign the waiver form to declare. Did you notice how Derek said that? He's doing it with me. He had to sign the waiver form. The waiver that says, I hereby declare that I am going to be seen publicly with Derek.
The waiver is that the Sando is so delicious that you might be overcome with happiness when you eat it. So the Hog Island, all of the Italian meats, really good. Got a little prosciutto. You got some salam. You got some gabagool. some Prove, LTOOO, on delicious Licio's bread.
It does hit every sense.
The best sandwich that there is.
It is very good.
The best sandwich in Indianapolis.
And it goes fabulous with the loose, juicy.
I'm telling
right?
you, man. This one.
Double dry hop, juicy pale IPA.
I say this every time. I'm not an IPA guy. You guys back there, Brand, are you an IPA guy? No? Charlie, you an IPA guy? Yeah, you are? Okay. Vince? No, not really? Like, you're never going to try one? Or I'm telling you, I am not an IPA guy. Not at all. Usually I have a sip of an IPA and I'm like hungover the next day. I don't know. It affects my body differently, maybe because of the muscle mass. Loose, juicy. Even for non-IPA guys, this is a delicious, smooth, it's not harsh at all IPA. Really like
Very
it.
good.
And it's back in the can now at Chili Water Brewing right across the street. I think the hero of the week, I'm gonna give this guy some flowers. I feel bad for him in a way because of the name and spotlight on him. Look, he puts some of this on himself. But Shedeur Sanders, to come out and have the debut that he did, I get it's the preseason. I get it that you're playing second, third, whatever. Some guys are on the field. Maybe they aren't even going to make the team. To me, with Sanders, I understood teams not wanting to use a first-round pick on him. I even understood teams not wanting to use a second-round pick on him. But by the time he got down to the fifth round, you were like, okay,
yeah,
what are we doing here? Because clearly he has talent and he has some of those it factor intangibles where he looks like he could be a star. Like, you can envision that. Like, you watch Dylan Gabriel play, and there's no planet where Dylan Gabriel's ever going to be a star player. Like, there's no universe where that is even possible. Or you watch, like, I don't know, think of another
Daniel
mid-round.
Jones.
Yeah, you watch him play. There's no universe where that guy's ever going to be a superstar, whereas you can see it with Shedeur.
The sandwich is fabulous.
He threw a dot on that touchdown play, just an absolute dot.
No, a what?
A dot.
Is that the new dime?
No, that's been around for a while. Threw a dot. Just a
dot's a candy.
Pretty ball. Just a straight dot. And he's going to win that quarterback job, right? It's the worst quarterback room. If you think the Colts have a bad quarterback room, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett.
Little hands. Little hands.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, little hands. Joe Flacco might as well just be like deceased. Like, he's still kind of out there, but he's just a corpse. And then Dylan Gabriel, I mean, a nice college player, but
so you got a guy with
I'm not even sure that he's
you got a guy with two
quarterback.
first names, a corpse, and a guy with little hands. Okay, and then a guy with a ruptured Achilles that's going around getting massages everywhere.
I mean, I think Shedeur's going to win that job.
It's a really good sandwich.
After the Browns, why not? Like, just go for it. Do you have a hero? Sometimes you have one and you like disagree with me. But I would not. I'll tell you this, and I get that Deion's got to stay in character. I would not want my dad tweeting about how great I was in the see what I told you? Like, I wouldn't want that. I'd just be like, hey, Dad, just chill. Like, I got this. Like, let me handle it. Like, relax.
I'll give you a hero, Derek. I don't disagree with that. And I know that we don't talk a lot of IndyCar here, but Roger Penske's team had gone, it's been since 1999 that team has gone winless in a race season. And they were on the cusp of it this year, and they have three drivers, Scott McLaughlin, Joseph Newgarden, and Will Power. Will Power is in the twilight of his career, at least based on his age, not based on his production. And there's a lot of discussion because his contract is up that he is going to be out at Team Penske and that David Malukas will replace him. And Will Power, who has gone through a lot in his personal life because of his wife has had health struggles. They have both stood by one another. Can you turn your phone off? What are we doing here? You get emails? What are we doing? You want to answer that?
It's a computer.
Huh?
It's a computer. It makes sounds. I'll mute it.
So Will Power, though, with all of that going on, everything in his personal life, he never used that as an excuse. His having to tend to his wife's side during a critical illness, the questions about his stability as a driver, about his long-term future within his team, and yet when they were 3 races away from being shut out for the year for the first time in over a quarter century for that team, it was Will Power that delivered a victory for Roger Penske by just simply staying focused, doing what he needed to do, and continuing to show that he is an elite level driver. heroic effort for him in Portland, and I say it was a pleasure to be able to watch it because he did what Will Power does best. Locked in and won a race. Shedeur Sanders is a good one, too. The sandwich is fabulous.
Look, I understand that it's not 1985 in open wheel. And especially in the earlier portion of the 21st century, the talent level wasn't certainly not where it is now or where it was 30 whatever years ago. If you get 40-something wins, 70-something pulls, you're nearing 45 and you're still winning races every once in a while, I mean, that tells you all you need to know. I mean, right. he's one of the best to ever do it. Right. And I don't think we're appreciating it in the moment because he's almost like the Wade Boggs of his era. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a very good comparison.
Where he just kind of goes out there, does his job, and it's not a lot of fanfare. And you go back and you look and you're like, damn, like he had an amazing career. Like Will Powers had an amazing career. So I was happy for him. And God, that stat about Penske in '99 is pretty crazy. They've had about the worst luck that I've ever seen, and I'm not really crying any tears for them considering what happened in Indy and all of that stuff. But they've had some horrific luck this year.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a rough year. So I was happy for him.
You mentioned the Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. And that leads to, of course, Bailey & Wood, who is the presenting sponsor of this show. They had their golf outing, another huge success, I know, last week. And I want to apologize up front to them because I was not able to be there due to a conflict. But I really wish I could have been because, you know, seeing everybody that comes out for that, the money that's raised for it, the community involvement, I mean, not just in the areas that they're able to touch in giving, you know, some of the money that they raise, but you just see the entire community of Bailey & Wood in the mortgage business and the customers and the colleagues they have that all show up for that awesome event. I apologize that I couldn't be there, but still, it's an honor to have them as a title sponsor for this show, Derek, because they represent what you want. What you want in a business is you like family-owned business that feels good about community, that is involved in community, that the community feels good having them as a part of, you know, being in their neighborhood. And that's what Bailey & Wood does in helping people get the neighborhood they want in terms of the best interest rate. But I know you had a lot of fun at their golf outing.
Yeah, it was great. You know, it was really cool. I mean, I expected to see Jeff Saturday there because he's always there. Great guy. We caught up a little bit. Mark Clayton, Indy guy. Cathedral is going to bring him back to honor him, which is pretty cool. And I'm like, they haven't done that yet? And he's like, 40 years, man. I'm like, how on earth has Cathedral not honored you yet? I mean, he's not a Hall of Fame player maybe, but he's like way up against it. I mean, he was one of the best players of the 80s. And then Rocket Ismail was there.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody's like, hey, you see Rocket Ismail down there? I was like, what? And so I grabbed a picture with Rocket. He was there with Lee Becton, who was a Notre Dame running back, who was a really good player, but kind of exiting when the Holtz years were starting to do this. That's right. When Lee Becton was around. And he works for Bailey & Wood. He's an employee of Mike's, and he's still buddies with Rocket. He brought Rocket back. So I met Rocket. Cool. Yeah, could not have been a nicer guy.
You think it was a clip?
Yeah. No, I don't. No, I think it was garbage, but Notre Dame had a lot of breaks kind of go their way. So he was – because, you know, the first Notre Dame team that I really remember watching would have been the 90 team because I was 7-8 years old then. So he was kind of the first, like, Notre Dame player that I really remember because I missed the Tony Rice and the championship and all that stuff.
Speaking of Notre Dame, and I can't remember if we went here or not already, but I want your honest opinion. I need you to be honest with me here, okay? You're a Notre Dame fan, or you grew up a Notre Dame fan, right?
Yeah, and I still pretty much am, yeah.
During the WNBA All-Star Game that weekend, I'm sitting there having dinner one night, and up on the television they've got on ESPN. And ESPN was doing a thing of the top 10 sports moments. Maybe they've done this for each state. Top 10 sports moments in each respective state. And they were doing Indiana because the WNBA All-Star Game was in Indiana. And I'm watching it, and I look up and I see their number 3 moment, I think, was Keith Smart's shot. Their number 2 moment was I think number 2 was the Colts beating New England, you know, the Marlon Jackson interception. Yeah. And I'm like, well, then obviously their number 1 is going to be the Colts winning the Super Bowl then, if this is how, you know, whatever. Their number one moment.
Or 76 Indiana or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their number one moment was Notre Dame beating Miami in the Catholics versus convicts game. And I'm like, I don't dispute in any way, shape, or form that is a great moment. The number one moment in Indiana high school sports history is Milan beating Muncie Central. Okay, let's be real, in terms of the culture of Indiana. But I sent a tweet, and maybe 50 is wrong, but I said, if you stopped people in the state of Indiana right now and asked them to mention their greatest sports moment in Indiana history, that does not make the top 50, right?
Yeah, here's the problem. I'm probably the wrong person to ask because, look, I and my connections to Notre Dame run pretty deep. My parents grew up in South Bend, the whole deal. I don't view
best
Notre
Indiana,
Dame.
not Indianapolis, best Indiana sports moment.
I don't view Notre Dame inherently as an Indiana entity. Notre Dame is kind of its own thing. It has its own zip code.
But Derek, even I agree with that, and that factors.
But even if we
this.
are including that, it would not be number one.
Yeah.
If you're talking about just moments that especially defined Indiana and resonated with Indiana sports fans, clearly the Marlon Jackson interception and the Keith Smart shot would both be over that.
Milan's number one, right?
I mean, I'd put the Watford shot over that. Just for resonance.
I mean, Tyrese Halliburton had like 4 of them in the last week.
Yeah,
right?
You're not wrong.
I mean,
Reggie Miller and the Game 5 in '94. I would put over that probably.
I mean,
yeah.
Butler going to the title game.
Butler in the title,
I mean,
and everybody knew that Butler was in Indiana. You know
what
I mean?
This? Like, if you're talking Notre Dame, what about Notre Dame ending UCLA's basketball streak? That's
it's
big.
just tough because obviously football's here compared to men's
get
basketball,
it,
right? But yeah, that was a big historic moment too. I would, as far as national prominence, I think that Catholics versus convicts would earn a space in the top 10, but it'd be way in the back.
Of college football, you mean?
No, of Indiana sport. If we're including Notre Dame in Indiana sports moments, I'd probably put it like somewhere in the top 10 because I'm trying to think of other. But it wouldn't be in the top 5,
right? And
it wouldn't be number 1,
right? I mean, I was like, why? I thought that was so bizarre.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's bizarre because it's in Indiana, right? But I think it's like when the Pacers and Colts do these, for the shoe and these marketing deals, and they hire these people in from New York and LA.
Right.
It's what they think Indiana is.
Right.
And I think if you're
Derek,
asking somebody in Long Island,
this is the first time ever from a national perspective that the assumption is of the connection of Notre Dame and Indiana.
I just think, but I do think that if you're somebody that's never spent any time here, you think Notre Dame is probably a much bigger deal in Indiana than it actually is. Notre Dame is a big deal in Indiana. Don't get me wrong. There are more Notre Dame fans here than probably other states.
Notre Dame is – here's the thing.
But it's a national entity.
Notre Dame is a big deal in Indiana, but Notre Dame is not much of a bigger deal in Indiana than it is in Ohio and Michigan and Illinois.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Really, that whole swath, particularly Chicagoland, but that whole swath is where it's a big deal. I mean, Notre Dame's a bigger deal in the region than it is in Indianapolis. Don't you think?
Yes.
I mean,
or the East Coast, like New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, I had a lot of Catholic friends that like Notre Dame. So, yeah, I didn't expect to go there with that. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think it would make the top 50, but
I mean, top 50, sure, but what I'm saying is this: if you went to the Indiana State Fair, you went to and just stopped 100 people and said, "You from Indiana? Yes. Give me your best sports moment in the history of Indiana. Go." You got to go. You're going to be there a long time before you hear that mentioned.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree.
I mean, a lot of people go, "Oh, I think Tecumseh went in 2A." Yeah, okay.
Well, you would get some of that. Yeah. No offense to Tecumseh. It was a great dynasty.
They're the Braves, right?
We come back on the show. Colts injuries. Ooh, it's no bueno, especially at cornerback.
Stacking up, right?
We got quick hits. We got more to get to. It's Corey and Schultz here. Episode, I don't even know. We're almost at 250 now.
We're
ISC
past
Sports
250.
Network.
Which games are we going to tonight?
You know we cover all sports in Central Indiana. Hop in. It's going to be a long night.
Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender, proud partner of News 8 Sports Hummer.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh!
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
We're back. Bailey Wood presents Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network, alongside Jake. I'm Derek. Hi. 855-350-HOME, BAWFG.com for our friends at Bailey and Wood. And
Did you play in a golf outing?
It was great. No, I can't. I can't do that.
You know, typically if you do that, they list that as miniature golf, right?
Did you only ask me that to make a bad joke? Is that
That's a fabulous joke.
Okay. Is that all the only reason they ask? Sometimes you ask me things just to set yourself up to put me down. And sometimes I see it coming. That one I did not see coming.
I don't need to.
Whatever. I'm just going to let it brush off because I'm comfortable with who I am and how tall I am. I'm not comfortable with the injury situation for the Colts. Didn't we say on last week's show, and it's been an uneventful training camp because there haven't been a lot of. Didn't we say that? We need to burn the tape. I'm pretty sure that we said that.
I think that's right.
Last week's show. A lot of injuries, particularly at cornerback. Kenny Moore went down with a knee injury. We're taping this right now, early Tuesday, so we don't know the severity. There haven't been details about this, even though Stephen Holder, your buddy, and my buddy too, said that they don't think it's as severe as maybe once believed. And then Juju Brents and Jalen Jones are dealing with these hamstring issues. Justin Wally blew his ACL, which kind of came out of nowhere. It's the Colts had the preseason game, and then suddenly they're like, by the way, Justin Wally's out for the injury.
And he was really having a
solid
solid
CB2.
campaign.
I mean, yeah, he was CB2. And now he's gone. And then you've got Kenny Moore, who's your slot corner one. You still have Travarius Ward. He's CB1, but that CB2 job, it's wide open because Jalen Jones might start the year. If you start the year on IR, you're not going to be CB2, right?
There's no – you have two corners, right?
Well, I mean, technically they have the corners and then they have the nickel back.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
But in a typical – when you line up, you have two corners, right? So there's no CB1, CB2.
Well, yeah. There's CB1 and CB2.
No, there's just two corners. They both start.
CB1 and CB2.
It's like on this show, there's two hosts. There's not – I think we all know there's one and two.
Who could come in and kind of, jump in here. Former UDFA and Alex Johnson could be – you were looking – and when he first signed, you're thinking, okay, they're going to keep 5, and he's like CB6, CB7, something like that. And now you're thinking maybe he could be, if not CB2, then CB3. And that's pretty incredible for a guy that's a former UDFA. But if you're going to stay off IR, then it's easier to win a CB3, CB4 type job, even as a UDFA, when you're not on IR. You got to be healthy.
So if he wins the job and becomes a starter, are you going to say that he's a BFD?
I don't know if that's appropriate for the show. I know people know what that stands for. We try not to curse on this show. That's been a big thing for me. I did say damn, like he had a good game or something. So maybe I shouldn't say that either. I try not to.
No, I just meant barely former draftee because he wasn't drafted. He's an undrafted free agent,
okay,
right?
That's not what you meant. You meant something different there. But that's a position group that we thought was going to be a strength going into the year, and now you're like, oh God, like you're back to like Dallas Flowers and
Derek,
those days all over again.
There's two phrases I've come up with in sports talk radio that I've added to my lexicon over the course of the time we've done
2020 guy.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Or 2025 guy, whatever it is.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
The other one is the thing that I always say. What do I say about corners and offensive linemen?
You can never have enough?
Sunglasses and cell phone chargers.
Yeah.
You cannot have enough of them because just when you think you have enough, you either will lose one or you break one, right?
Yeah.
You cannot have enough. And I will give Chris Ballard credit because those are two areas where he had built depth, but now it's getting tested in the corner room because you just got to keep cycling them through.
I just bought prescription sunglasses.
Oh, really?
I use my HSA, but still, they weren't cheap. And they're just gone. They fell into a portal to an alternate universe, and they're just gone. I looked everywhere they could possibly be.
What brand?
They're just gone.
Mine are Ray-Bans.
I think they were Ray-Bans.
Yeah.
I only had them for 2 weeks, so I don't even know what brand they were. Yeah, lost some media. My wife's so angry. She gets so mad at me because I lose stuff all the time.
What do you look like without? I've never seen you without glasses on.
Yeah, I look good.
No, you look.
The eyes get a little baggy. It's from the cigarette smoke that wafted up all those years, probably. creating some more wrinkles.
How blind are you? Let me see your glasses here. Let's see. I'm not going to put them on because I don't. Not terrible.
I'm not terrible, but it's getting worse.
Well, just wait.
Like, and you're way older than me, so you know this. Like, you start to notice when things are getting worse, don't you? Like, physically. Like, it's becoming harder for me. Like, when I first wake up in the morning and I go downstairs, I'm like, kind of like taking it easy.
Just wait.
You know what I mean?
Lower
Like,
back, man.
What's wrong with me? And after a while, at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, if I'm coming down the stairs, I'm fine. But it's like when I first wake up in the morning, I'm like rickety.
You know, when you say 3 p.m. in the afternoon, it's redundant. Just so you know. Whatever. Just 3 in the afternoon or 3 p.m.
Hopefully the Colts can avoid, it goes out saying, more injuries, particularly that are condensed in those spots. But corner's one to kind of keep an eye on. And they're going to play everybody's going to play at some point in this game against the Packers, but all the focus is going to be on, I think, the two quarterbacks. And, Anthony Richardson, you only got to see barely for like a series and a half because of the pinky injury. You're going to see him more, even though Jones is going to start the game. But I'm with you. I still don't think that Jones will win the job unless they really have no choice.
I would agree.
And I didn't think that going in. I thought this was going to be a 50-50, so if Jones is 51...
A tie goes to the incumbent, and it's a tie.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. But Richardson's got to make sure that it's a tie. I mean, the Jones level is going to stay here. Richardson has been like this during camp.
You're right.
The Jones level, for the most part, is going to stay here. And I know he's had ups and downs, too. But the Jones level pretty much is going to stay here. That's who he's been his entire career. So it's just Richardson has to find a way to be here.
Derek, if you look realistically, if you look at veteran quarterbacks in the NFL right now, who is the one that you think Anthony Richardson realistically has the ceiling of?
This is not realistically, but if you're actually asking me what his ceiling is, if everything clicked, I think he could be Lamar Jackson. I mean, if everything clicked, I think he'd be great. He'd be an MVP level player because he's traitsy out the wazoo. He's got traits on traits on traits, but traits don't matter unless they materialize.
I'm going to write this down.
Traitsy out the wazoo, yeah.
Traitsy out the wazoo. Wazoo is Washington State, right?
Hemorrhaging traits. Actually, that sounds... He's seeping... seeping's weird.
Okay, hold on. Speaking of hemorrhaging
I'll come up with a better word. Yeah.
I haven't told you what happened to me at the airport.
You had seepage?
I had to be creative.
Okay.
To make sure that my seep of bodily fluids did not prohibit me from boarding a plane. Michael Young, you know Michael Young? Track dude Michael Young?
Yeah. I don't know if I want to hear
Flying back from Portland, Michael Young had something happen to him that had never happened to him before. And I think if a bird does this, it's supposed to be good luck to you. But Michael Young, for the first time in his life, I don't think it's happened to most people, Michael Young had a passenger in his row throw up on him on the plane. Just,
oh my God.
Can you imagine mid-flight, 17-year-old girl, he said, and she had the bag and she filled that up, and then ran out of the bag, and another wave hit, and she leaned over, and Michael was sitting on the left. So he said he went back to the galley and they gave him bottles of like tonic water, and he was trying to cleanse it all off, but there was. As he was rinsing it, he realized there was a solid in his shoe that went down the sock, between his sock and his shoe, and he had to wedge that part out. Cheeto. He said it was a Cheeto.
If I think of the absolute worst things that could happen to me,
I would.
Just in life, getting puked on an airplane would be top 5.
And here's
top
the thing,
3,
Derek,
probably.
Here's the thing, too. This isn't a flight from Indy to Chicago.
Yeah, this is Portland, right?
I mean, you're in the air for like another 2.5 hours.
Oh, boy.
So I'll just tell you this. So my connection, I'm coming back from Portland.
I feel bad for the girl, by the way. It sucks. Nobody wants to throw up on anybody.
He believes alcohol a factor.
Okay.
But although she was underage. But so I flew from Portland to Seattle. Beautiful. By the way, have you done that flight?
No, I've not done that flight.
What do you...
I did fly into. Did we fly into Portland? No, we flew right into Eugene. We didn't fly into Portland.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we flew from Portland to Seattle. Now, I always look on my phone. It says 55-minute flight.
Yeah.
I think they even said 50-minute flight. I had a window seat, which was awesome because it was sunset. It was dusk. We take off, and I'm like, I'm weird like this. When I'm on a flight, I always time it on my phone so that I get an idea how much longer we have. And so we take off, and I look at my phone, and we're 12 minutes into the flight, and I'm like, okay, it's probably about time where they're going to turn the sign off so I can go to the restroom. And I know you like going to the restroom on a plane.
No, the worst. You get sucked out of the plane if you flush it. I've never flushed.
They did.
Before.
Now, how about this?
Yeah.
Hold on. On a side note, I know we're way off topic here, but on the way out there, on the flight that I had, I can't remember what flight it was. They came over I flew from LA to Portland on the way out, and they said, just so you know, the toilets, the lavatories are broken. You cannot flush, but we have bottled water that if you just want to grab extra bottled water when you go into the lavatory and just pour that down to flush, then just don't hit the flush button. Everybody's like, yeah, we're good. Anyway.
Yikes.
The flight from Portland to Seattle, 13 minutes in, and they're like, okay, prepare for landing. It was a 26-minute flight.
Wow.
And
Must have caught a tailwind or
Totally.
something, right?
And it was beautiful. I saw we flew over Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier. At any rate, very quick turnaround. So I had to transfer and Seattle's a huge airport. But as I was getting to my gate, it was packed, crazy, whatever, and I felt something. I think somebody's suitcase or something hit the side of my leg. Didn't think anything of it. I'm getting ready to board, and all these people start freaking out. Sir, they're yelling at me. All these passengers, you're bleeding. I'm on blood thinners.
Yeah.
I had the slightest of nick, but my leg was like Old Faithful.
Yeah.
And I had one napkin, so I'm using that to wipe. And then I had an eyeglass lenses wipe, one of those alcohol wipes. So I used that to try to stop it, and then realized I have a Band-Aid on my arm covering a bruise, which was embarrassing. So I took that Band-Aid off my arm, put it onto my leg, just stopped the seepage enough to make the flight. And then read afterwards that if you have bodily fluid, they won't let you on the plane.
You should probably just carry
I usually do.
Okay, yeah, like a kit or something on you.
A kit. I have a tourniquet. I have a portable tourniquet that I carry.
Do you have a life alert button?
Right here. Right here.
Probably should do one of those too.
Okay.
Does anybody in there know what we're talking about? Life alert
that
buttons?
works.
Okay.
That works
Brant,
at 36,000 feet.
Button,
Would
right?
you use the life alert button if somebody puked on you?
Oh my God, I would wear that thing out. Yeah, come get me right now. Fire marshal, fire brigade, the whole deal. Air marshal, come get me. Quick hits. We come back. And Bite or Bullip still to come here on Corey and Schultz, presented by Bailey & Wood, ISC Sports Network.
At Bailey & Wood,
Welcome back to the show. We got to hustle a little bit here because we've had tales of seepage and would you want to snuggle a Miami dolphin and
Dolphins
things like
are
that.
awesome. You
on
can
the
swim
show.
with the dolphins at the zoo.
Unfortunately.
A lion would be cool. Right?
Here are our quick hits.
Panther would be cool.
We talked about Will Power already. Congrats, Alex Palou, fourth IndyCar championship in 5 years. Also, this year comes with a breakthrough Indy 500 win, so that makes it even more significant than his others.
17th season championship for Chip Ganassi. Can you tell me the drivers that have won an IndyCar season championship for Chip Ganassi?
Dario.
Dario's won.
Scott Dixon.
Scott Dixon's won.
Palou.
Palou's won.
Palou
has the same first name as another guy that did it for him.
Zanardi? See, when you start kind of creeping back, was Weldon ever with them? But did he win a
He
championship?
did not win a championship.
Okay.
But you're missing pretty good.
I'm missing a good one. What era?
Your high school years.
Yeah, see, that's a little bit tougher for me.
But came back and drove for another big team in the time that you and I have been doing the show together.
I don't know. Hit me with it.
Montoya.
Oh, yeah. I should have known that one. Anybody else I'm missing?
I think that's all of them.
Okay. Yeah. He's already had 20 career wins. he's won more races than Danny Sullivan and Tom Sneeva and Tony Kanaan. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty crazy when you think about it. Dude's been around for
4 championships.
Dude's had 6 seasons.
He's only the 3rd driver to win 3 straight championships.
20 wins. I mean, that's insane. What an insane year that he's had. Pacers and Thunder to open up the Pacers NBA season.
Okay, my thought on this, Derek, is this. It kind of sucks because while you're going to be super excited for the Pacers season to start and all of that, watching that game, you're going to be thinking to yourself of what could have been.
Well, I'll be thinking about that the whole season.
I know, but if they win that game, it's going to be like, oh, my gosh. Now you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, just watch, like, Nembhard will go for, like, a 40-burg or something like that, and they'll win, and Vince will be all excited, and then, they end up 38 and 44 or whatever.
Nah, they're going to win 42 games.
Okay. Did you see this Heat security guard thing? This actually happened last week. Was stealing LeBron stuff. He's an old cop. Did you hear about this?
No.
So a Heat security guard facing federal charges, 62 years old, Marcus Perez, transporting and transferring stolen goods in interstate commerce. Over a 3-year period, authorities say that he stole more than 100 items and sold them for approximately $2 million. A 25-year veteran of the Miami Police Department, worked for the Heat from 16 to 21 as an NBA security employee. 22 to 25 had access to an equipment holding room. So he took out a LeBron game-worn NBA Finals jersey and sold it for $100K. But then he was like, hey, this is pretty good, and kept selling stuff. Not that I'm condoning this, but if it was me, I would just pick one thing, sell that, and then just be done.
Well, but
because they're not gonna track down one thing. Right?
How did they not? How did no one notice that a game-worn Finals jersey of LeBron James was missing?
Well, apparently the Heat.
Or how did he think that nobody would think it was weird?
This was a room where the Heat would keep special items for consideration for their Hall of Fame or something.
Okay.
And I think at some point, maybe a couple of weeks ago, the curator went in there and was like, "Hey, we're short a bunch of stuff. What happened to all this stuff?" And that's when they probably reviewed some security footage or something like that. I don't know. But they were able to find out.
Did you hear about the quarterback at Oklahoma that on his Venmo had his Venmo open? And I didn't know this. I guess you can look at people's Venmo history.
Yeah, I have mine blocked, but yeah, you could see transactions that they make with other people.
And so
there's a feed, a timeline.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it say and it says the reasons, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of times it's just emojis, but yeah.
Well, because I like, so it says is Arch Manning the one that did it? I thought it was a player from Oklahoma.
Oh, Arch Manning's Venmo was open, you're saying? I did not see
No,
this.
no. Hold on. Now I'm confused because the thing that I saw was that maybe we're talking about two different stories. There was a player at Oklahoma, the quarterback at Oklahoma, who formerly played for Washington State. So here's what I saw. I saw it this morning. A player from Oklahoma who played at Washington State, an SEC timeline found his thing, unless it's going under an alias, and then somebody else was like Arch, but he paid somebody $20 for the UCLA-USC game and said in the memo for sports gambling, USC over UCLA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So so the Arch Manning one, I'm unfamiliar.
Well, I'm seeing Arch Manning alleged obscene Venmo payments found, but these don't look like reputable sites.
Somebody else, when this all happened, John Mateer is the player that I heard about.
John Mateer I'm seeing right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then when it happened, Texas fans jokingly were saying, Arch, be sure to close your Venmo account, to poke fun at the fact that Oklahoma's quarterback had gotten in trouble.
Okay, yeah.
Either way, because I always put joking things. When I pay somebody Venmo, I've only used Venmo 4 times in my life.
Yeah.
I always put a ridiculous reason.
Yeah, like honey massage or whatever.
Yes.
Because I got one from you I think it said honey massage.
I think that's massage oils or something like that.
Yeah.
So do I need to go and
I think that's when I blocked my Venmo timeline. So thank you.
How do you do that? How do you block it?
I'm not going to tell you. You're on your own.
Let's see.
You figure it out yourself. Figure it out yourself. Finally, we already mentioned this, but SausageFest Friday and Saturday. We'll see you at St. Thomas. That's part of our quick hits as well. We come back on the show. Buy it or Bullip while Jake tries to figure out his Venmo.
That's right.
It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
games we going to tonight?
You know we cover all sports in Central Indiana. Hop in. It's going to be a long night.
Bailey and Wood Mortgage Lender, proud partner of News 8 Sports Hummer.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap! Duh!
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Welcome back, Query and Schultz here on the ISC Sports Network. Final time. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to our great crew who is forced to listen to this show and watch this show every single week. Vince, Charlie, Brant, and the rest of the group over there for doing a great job making sure that the show looks good, sounds good, that the graphics are right for the most part. And Vince has been on a little bit of a hot streak here. I don't think he's messed something up with the show in a while. You messed up the intro today.
No,
Yeah, Vince ran the intro as he always does.
They
Gave
all
us the
got
countdown
right.
as he
Right when we were
always
about to
does.
start, they all got up and ran out of
You
here. And
messed
so I'm
up
like,
the
okay, there
intro.
must have been an issue.
Chateau Kitchens won't mess up anything for you. ChateauKitchens.com. If you are looking for renovations and in-home transformations, that is what our pals at Chateau do. At Chateau Kitchens on Instagram and Facebook. Don't take my word for it. Before and after pictures, you can see said transformations. Beautiful, whether it be a kitchen, Chateau Kitchens, right? A bathroom, a basement, a wet bar, anything on the interior of your home. Chateau Kitchens can handle that for you and do a wonderful job. They've completely remade my home in Midtown. Here's what we do with Biter Bullip. I give a statement, Jake and I go back and forth with a Biter. It's Bullip. Statement 1, Jake. Anthony Richardson will not be on the Colts roster in 2026. Biter Bullip.
Bull Schultz. He's under contract, right?
I'm going to say Bullip too, with one caveat. If Richardson really flames out this year, if Daniel Jones starts 15, 16 games, if he's the primary starter, then this idea that, yeah, we're still going to wait on Anthony, he's going to be fine, he's going to go into year 4. The NFL doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way. Not in the 21st century anyway. I have a very, very hard time believing if Jones, and I don't think that's going to happen, but if Jones is the primary starter this year, and plays a large majority of the games and Richardson goes through injury stuff, then no, I don't think he'll be back.
Okay, I have one for you.
All right.
Biter Bull Schultz. The winner of the AFC South this year will come from a state that does not have a representative in the college football playoffs.
So if it's the Texans, Texas is preseason number 1, so that'd be tough, right? Titans would be Tennessee, and I don't think Vandy's got a real chance. Jacksonville would have Florida, FSU, Miami. Am I missing anybody? Are any of those teams supposed to be really good?
Isn't
FSU's been way down, right?
Isn't Miami the team that all
Miami,
Notre Dame
I
fans
think-
are like, we start with Miami, they're top 5.
Miami is like a top 10, 12 team, I think, in the preseason rankings.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess they could be a college football playoff team. And then the Colts would be basically IU and Notre Dame, right? Because Purdue is not going to factor in there. I mean, just on likelihood, I guess I would say Tennessee. No, I'll say.
See,
I
you
will
poo-poo these,
say-
and then look at how much
I'll say
thought-provoking
Bullip
this
because
is.
I think it's a better chance that it's Houston than anybody else, and they've got Texas, who I think will be a playoff team.
Okay.
So I'll be boring. Yeah. I mean, Houston's still the Vegas favorite to win the division, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I saw that quarterback rankings list from The Athletic had Trevor Lawrence like 18th. I was just like,
I know. I'm a huge fan, but
I'm shocked. Like I still think he's going to have a long career, right? But I think it's like Alex Smith all over again, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, he's a good player.
I think
He's just not he's not like a transcendent.
feel
I
like
really thought he was going to be like Peyton Manning
I
level
know.
player.
I know.
And I'm not a scout or anything, but yeah, he's all right. I think I already know this answer because you kind of said it. Pacers will have a winning record next season.
Yeah,
Better
42 wins.
Yeah, you know what? I really want to see that happen. So I'm just optimistically I'm going to say yes. And I think there's a path to them being a 42, 43-ish win team. I really do. I think they're going to fight for it because
Yeah, how about this?
that's what the Pacers do.
Biter Bull Schultz. The top 3 scorers for the Pacers this upcoming season, all 3 will be players born outside the United States.
I'm going to say Bullip. I think it's going to be Siakam. You're thinking Siakam, Mather, and Nembhard, right?
Correct.
It's a contract year for. I think Aaron Nesmith's going to have a big year.
Okay, that's fair.
I think he's going to be like a 15 point per game scorer.
I'm a huge fan.
I really do. Maybe that's naive of me because that's not been his role so far, but I think he's going to have a big season. Yeah. Thank you we already thanked our crew. We don't need to thank them again. That's too much. I don't want them to get big heads and inflated egos. Thanks to all our great sponsors, Chateau Kitchens, as well as Hoagies and Hops and Chili Water Tap Room, 42nd and Boulevard. September 13th, Hoagie eating contest. We're going to have Christine on the show here to talk about it soon. And our presenting sponsor, Bailey & Wood Financial Group. For everybody in the glass case of emotion in there, he's Jake, I'm Derek. We'll see you next time here on Query and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
At